A lot of people have been asking, hey, how's your new Tesla Model Y? And my usual response is, we've really enjoyed it. But I think it's time to take it a step further. And today I want to share 7 surprising things that I love about our new Tesla Model Y. Hey everybody, my name is Victor. Welcome to Cars Jubilee, where the stars of our show are our EVs, our Tesla Model Y, our Hyundai Ioniq 5, and our Genesis GV60. So if you're interested in additional EV content, make sure to check out the full channel. Also, if you're interested in buying a Tesla, be sure to use a referral code so you can get that $500 discount plus a 3-month free trial to full self-driving. Here's our referral code if you'd like to use it. And like I said, for today's video, I wanted to share 7 surprising things that I love about our Tesla Model Y. Just remember, it's through my lens or in my shoes as someone who's owned an Ioniq 5 for 18 months, a GV60 for 13 months, but up until now has never owned a Tesla. So let's get to it. How about we start with just how family friendly this Model Y has been. That frunk and that trunk have been amazing. I'm not sure if Elon did this intentionally, but that sub-trunk space is perfect for fitting a stroller. Here's what it looks like in my Ioniq 5 or my GV60. You'll see it kind of takes up almost half of my trunk. With strollers, you don't really want to put heavy things on top because you might crush them, but at the same time, you don't really want to put them on top of other things because it's kind of heavy. And the wheels are dirty and you might rub up against the headliner and gets other stuff dirty. Kind of not really a good place for them in most cars, but in the Model Y, it's got a perfect spot in that sub-trunk. And so for daily errand running, grocery store shopping, Costco runs, and I mean full-size Costco runs, I can fit the stroller in the trunk and still buy everything we want to buy or things that we don't need to buy but end up buying anyways because we're at Costco. And if I try to put the same stuff in the Ioniq 5 or the GV60, it simply won't fit. This Model Y can carry way more stuff than we can with our Ioniq 5 or GV60. In that frunk, man, you can actually put full-size toilet paper or paper towel from Costco in the frunk. Here's what it looks like in my Ioniq 5 or GV60 frunk. Like, yeah, not gonna happen, not even close. And actually, here's another example. We recently went on a family vacation, we road tripped, and I had to fit 5 people with our luggage, and it happened to be a beach vacation trip. So I had to also bring a beach wagon, 3 beach chairs, 2 beach umbrellas, a beach mat, sand toys, and well, we didn't have to bring the stroller this time, but instead we brought a baby bouncer. And I had to fit all that in the trunk with our luggage for 3 days. On top of that, on the last day, we checked out of our Airbnb early, then went straight to the beach, and then from the beach, we were planning to go straight home to here. And so that meant I needed all the beach stuff accessible without emptying my trunk. And I was able to do that again because of that sub-trunk. I was able to bury the wagon in there and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also throw some of those chairs into the frunk. So yeah, this frunk and trunk and sub-trunk have been super versatile, and I honestly can't imagine not having these things anymore. So if you're a parent of babies or young kids and you bring strollers around, or you're the kind of family that just carries a lot of stuff and you need a lot of storage, but you don't want to go to a car size that's too big, well, I think this Model Y should be at the top of your shopping list because it carries more than pretty much everything in this size because of the deep frunk and that amazing trunk. I'm shocked. At 70 miles per hour, I can still get well over 300 miles of highway range. I was expecting I'd probably have to drive closer to 60 or 65 miles per hour to get that kind of range. All right, moving on to the next thing, and that would be the highway range in warm weather. And I purposely spec'd the 19-inch wheels because I wanted to get as much range as possible with our Tesla Model Y. On our recent road trip, we did about 80% highway, about 20% local driving, and I actually had better efficiency on the highway versus the local portion. Anyways, during that trip, I averaged about 4.2 miles per kilowatt, which would give me roughly 315 miles of range, which is really good. During that 80% highway drive, I actually was driving 70 miles per hour, and I was, passing trucks, passing buses, construction vehicles. I mean, I would try to stay to the right lane if possible, but I was moving in and out as needed to kind of maintain that 70 miles per hour. It was a pretty comfortable drive. Well, we've done similar road trips with our Ioniq 5, and the best I've ever gotten was 4.1 miles per kilowatt, but that was going 55 miles per hour, and that was by myself. So my Model Y was going 15 miles per hour faster, and it was fully loaded, and I was getting more range. So essentially my Model Y is giving me 10 to 15% more highway range, which breaks out to about 30 to 45 miles of extra highway range, which is a ton. You know, for us, that's the difference between having to stop and charge at some point during the trip and not having to charge at all. With this Model Y, we basically don't have to charge at all for most of the road trips we're planning to take. And it's kind of funny, with my Ioniq 5, the very time we road tripped, I was in the outermost lane and I was getting passed by trucks and buses, construction vehicles. And my wife was like, is something wrong? Why are you driving so slow? And I was like, this is the only way we're going to get 300 miles of range. Well, I don't have to do that anymore. Now I can just drive normally. I've seen a lot of people out there say, no, there's no way you can ever get 300 miles of range with a Tesla Model Y. It's exaggerated. In ideal conditions, in warm weather, going relatively flat, going 70 miles per hour or even slower, you can do over 300 miles of range. We just did it. So yeah, this Model Y long range to me is a range beast, and I absolutely love that about it. I did not expect Autopilot to be that precise with auto steering. And next on the list of things that we've really loved is actually Autopilot. For me, Autopilot has had the most accurate lane keeping or lane steering that I've ever experienced. And we've had it in Hondas, we've had it in Volvos, our Ioniq 5, our GV60, and this one is by far the best at keeping us in our lane centered. It's accurate, it's aggressive, it just tries to keep you centered as best as it can, and it rarely gets it wrong, especially on the highway. This has been such a pleasure to use on the highway during road tripping because I'm so relaxed. I really don't have to worry about steering or using the pedals much. It just drives itself really, really well. Now, I don't want to spend more time on this because I'm actually going to do an Autopilot versus HTA comparison coming up soon, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But what I'll say for now is that I've loved using Autopilot because it's so good, especially the lane centering and auto steering function. Today's video is sponsored by TLYARD, and they have a ton of amazing accessories, so be sure to check out their website using our affiliate link. Anyways, today's accessory is actually something I really wanted. It's the ventilated seat cover. One thing I don't like about our Model Y is the fact that it does not come with ventilated seats. I actually looked at all the aftermarket options available, and they all were kind of ugly looking or had bad reviews. Well, then TLYARD reached out and sent me this one, and I actually really like it. I think it looks really good, or at least not bad. Much better than all the other options out there. As far as installation goes, that took about only 1 or 2 minutes. It's super easy, just slip it on over the existing seat and then plug it in. As far as using it, well, there are 3 fan level settings, and there's an auto setting where as soon as you sit down, it will start up, which is a really nice feature. And how well does it actually work? It's good. It's got fans in the base cushion portion and fans for your back portion, and you definitely can feel the air moving through even at the lowest setting. I've been running my air conditioning at 74 or 75 degrees, and I'm still able to stay cool on a hot summer day instead of running it previously at 70 or 71 degrees. Those fans pull in that cool air and help keep my body cool and dry. Now, how about seat comfort? Well, it's actually not bad. The cover, for me, firms up that base cushion, which I think is better for me anyways. The back part of the cover, I think, depends on how you sit and position yourself. I've found comfortable seating positions, and I've been using it all summer. I've even road tripped comfortably with it. But I could see some people finding it uncomfortable, so it's kind of hard to say for sure since it's kind of a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. But at least for me, it's been good. I honestly think this is the best aftermarket seat ventilation option available for the Tesla Model Y and the Tesla Model 3. So thank you, TLYARD. This has definitely made my Model Y better and fixed one of the things I actually didn't like about it. I'll post links in the video description. Now, let's get back to the video. I did not expect to like this screen as much as I do. If anything, I was kind of worried I would actually dislike it. Alright, next, let's talk about this center screen. This is an infotainment screen, but I think calling it that would be doing it a disservice. This thing does way more than that. I mean, yes, you can do basic controls like adjust the steering wheel height, adjust the mirrors. All your climate control settings are in here as well. But it also has a Netflix and YouTube and a web browser. And it also has built-in games. It even has a security system that I can review footage of. So essentially this screen is a computer, an entertainment center, a gaming console, and a security system, the DVR. This thing does so much, and it does all of it really, really well. In fact, it does it better than any other infotainment system or screen that I've ever used in any car, period. I would equate this to being like a high-end, top-tier tablet. And everything else I've used is like using a very limited or basic tablet for a child. Like there's only so many functions you can do, swipe left, swipe right, and that's kind of it. But this thing, man, this thing is awesome. I did not expect it to be this quiet in here. Alright, the next thing that I've really liked about our Model Y has actually been how quiet it is inside. Now that may come as a surprise even to us as well. You know, we've been in other Model Ys, we've had Model 3s as rentals before as well, and just in general, it was always kind of a rattly and noisy experience inside the car. But our Model Y actually, in some scenarios, is quieter than my Ioniq 5 and my GV60. That's actually on the highway when I'm doing 50, 60, 70 miles per hour. On the highway, this thing has almost no wind noise, or at least very, very little. My Ioniq 5 and GV60 are quieter on city roads and city-style driving, but on the highway, there's a lot of wind noise intrusion into the cabin. And so actually the Model Y has been the quietest highway car probably that I've ever owned. It's really quiet in here. On top of that, our Model Y specifically has zero rattles. It's really well built, so we don't have really any extra noise inside. So for comparison's sake, I would say my Model Y is quieter than my Ioniq 5 or GV60 doing 50, 60, 70 miles per hour. But my Ioniq 5 and GV60 would be quieter doing 0 to about 45 miles per hour. Just different types of noise intrusion into the cabin. The Model Y is excellent on the highway. I didn't think I would get excited about software updates, but now I'm genuinely excited to see what rolls out next in future updates. And then there's the fact that this car keeps getting better. And that's because of these software updates that are free of charge and come to the car pretty frequently. I've already had, I want to say 2, maybe even 3 software updates in just 3 months of ownership. And they do in fact make this car better. In one of the recent updates, they added a new game, they added the functionality to preview every single camera on this car, including the pillar cameras. They also added functionality to this button where you can customize it. And it's just, I would definitely say that my car now is better than when I originally bought it, which is something most owners can't say about their cars. Let's take my Ioniq 5 for example. They pushed out a preconditioning update. Now this is an update that we couldn't even do over the air. We had to go to the dealership, but we did that update and it gave us preconditioning, which we were supposed to have but didn't have when we bought it. And after driving we realized, oh, they somehow messed up eco drive mode to the point where it was almost unusable. It was super slow. 0 to 60 was probably like 10 or 12 seconds, and then they had to push out another update where you had to go back to the dealership to get it fixed so that you would have a normal eco mode. And in general, a lot of the new updates that they've been pushing out through the dealership network where you have to go there to get the update, a lot of people are complaining that, hey, I think they're making our cars worse with these new updates. And in general, any updates we have been getting with the Ioniq 5 have been very superficial, just small aesthetic changes. They haven't really added any true functionality, anything to actually make the car truly better. So I think Tesla's software updates are kind of in a league of its own. Other manufacturers are trying to do the same thing, but I think Tesla's still far and away at the top when it comes to software updates. I knew it was going to be better than Electrify America. I just had no idea it was going to be that much better. This next one is very simple, and it's actually going to take me longer to explain it than it will for me to actually do it. That would be supercharging. You just pull into a supercharging station, you park, you grab the charge connector, you plug it in, and by the time you get back into your car after plugging it in, it will have already started charging. Literally takes like 2 to 3 seconds. There's no fiddling with a glitchy app. There's no fiddling with the actual charger because there's no screen. It just plugs and plays. And with my experience through Electrify America, I'm lucky if I can get everything working within 2 to 3 minutes. With supercharging with Tesla, everything is working within 2 to 3 seconds, and it's weird if it's not. That's how different it's been. That's how amazing it's been. And so, yeah, the thought of supercharging during a road trip is like, not worried at all. If I have to do it, I'll do it. The thought of charging at Electrify America during a road trip is like, ooh, I don't know if I want to do that. So in that aspect, I've really enjoyed the ability to supercharge my Tesla through Tesla's supercharging network. It's reliable, it's fast, it just straight up works every single time. So yeah, those are the 7 surprising things that I love about a Model Y. I'm sure in the future I'll have more likes, more dislikes, and at that point I'll come back with a full likes, dislikes video. Anyways, at least for now though, we're really loving this Tesla Model Y. So that wraps this one up. Make sure to check out our Amazon influencer store if you're interested in EV accessories. Also make sure to check out TLYARD storefront if you're interested in that ventilated seat cover. And if you're buying a Tesla, make sure to use a referral code. Here's ours in case you're interested. As always, thanks so much for watching. See you guys in the next one.